Welcome back to Echoes Through Time, where history speaks again. In our last episode, we heard Neville Chamberlain announce to the world that Britain was once again at war with Germany. But only hours later, a voice echoed across the British Empire, not of a politician, but of a king. Tonight we listen to the wartime address of King George VI, delivered via radio to millions across the United Kingdom and Commonwealth. With war now unavoidable, this was the moment a reluctant monarch stepped into history, offering calm and resolve during a time of fear. Before we begin, I want to say this clearly. I cannot do this speech the same justice as it was done by the king himself. His voice, his cadence, his struggle, and strength. That's something truly historic. But the idea here is to bring his words into a modern tone, with a modern voice, to help you better understand the weight of what was spoken that day. The power of this speech isn't just in how it was said, it's in what it meant. Let us now hear the words of the king, just as they were spoken. In this grave hour, perhaps the most fateful in our history, I send to every household of my peoples, both at home and overseas, this message, spoken with the same depth of feeling for each one of you, as if I were able to cross your threshold and speak to you myself. For the second time in the lives of most of us, we are at war. Over and over again, we have tried to find a peaceful way out, but it has been in vain. We have been forced into a conflict, for we are called with our allies to meet the challenge of principle, which, if it were to prevail, would be fatal to any civilized order in the world. It is a principle which permits a state in the selfish pursuit of power to disregard its treaties and its solemn pledges, which sanctions the use of force or threat of force against the sovereignty and independence of other states. Such a principle, stripped of all disguise, is surely the mere primitive doctrine that might is right, and if this principle were established throughout the world, the freedom of our own country, and of the whole British Commonwealth of nations, would be in danger. But far beyond this, the peoples of the world would be kept in the bondage of fear, and all hope of settled peace, and the security of justice and liberty among nations would be ended. This is the ultimate issue which confronts us. For the sake of all that we ourselves hold dear, and of the world's order and peace, it is unthinkable that we should refuse to meet the challenge. It is to this high purpose that I now call my people at home and my peoples across the seas, who will make our cause their own. I ask them to stand calm and firm and united in this time of trial. The tasks will be hard. There may be dark days ahead. War can no longer be confined to the battlefield, but we can only do the right as we see the right, and reverently commit our cause to God. If one and all we keep resolutely faithful to it, then with God's help we shall prevail. May He bless and keep us all. This speech is remembered not only for its timing, but for how it was spoken. King George VI had a long struggle with a speech impediment, a stammer that made public speaking painful. But on that day, through intense preparation and with sheer determination, he spoke clearly, calmly, and with resolve. Phrases like "perhaps the most fateful in our history," and "there may be dark days ahead," show both literary balance and emotional gravity. The king used repetition, "my peoples at home and overseas," the bondage of fear, "stand calm and firm and united," to instill steadiness in a moment of chaos. His voice didn't thunder like a general's. It steadied like a father's. That vulnerability, coupled with his role as head of the Commonwealth, gave the speech a quiet but immense strength. Unlike Chamberlain's anxious delivery, King George's tone was measured, a rallying cry to endure. His words foreshadowed the Blitz, the Dunkirk evacuation, and the long years of sacrifice to come. It wasn't just Britain he addressed. It was Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, India, and more. The entire Commonwealth heard their monarch ask for unity, strength, and faith. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Echoes Through Time. As we move through the voices of World War II, each speech reveals the fears, hopes, and courage of a world on fire. If this episode moved you, share it, because sometimes the most powerful weapons in history weren't bombs or bullets, but words. Like, comment, and subscribe for more history brought to life, only on Bridges Over History. And make sure to leave a comment about your opinion on the speech.